Hey guys, this is OddOneGaming. This is going to be another Dragonheir Silent Gods video. In today's video, I'm going to show you my team for the Chief Challenge Journ that's going to be doing over 200 million damage without having any exclusive legendary in the team. No premium, no Gladys, no Metroja, nothing, just normal legendaries in the team, and I managed to go over to, I think I do like 225 million, and I'm pretty excited about this team because I think it's one of the hardest ones. It's not actually the hardest one to do high damage against, so I guess let's jump into this one. Now, as always, before we continue with the video, I do want to mention, if you want to support me as a content creator, you can use code OddOne that you see over there at the top to support, right? You can just click the link in the description of the video that says, to support. Once you go there, put that code, select the account that you want to, support with. You're going to get some rewards instantly. After that, jump on Discord, DM me, because I have some promo codes for War Motto and Hero Lights for all the supporters. So, you know what? Would really appreciate it. Pretty much the way it works, because I always try to be as transparent as possible, is if you do decide to spend in the game, I do get like 2% off of what you spent on. But I never encourage people to spend. I still just wanted to mention that. But let's jump over and let's see the team that I'm talking about, because it's a pretty fun one. It's a pretty fun one. It's not this one. This was from the previous one, but it's this, right? It's going to be using Gillian, which, we all get for free. Then I'm going to be using Felocia. The reason I'm using Felocia is because she's awesome and she brings buffs, and that's the thing in this team. You want to have as many buffs as possible, as the boss does some quirky stuff. He does more damage if you don't have buffs. If you have fewer than 5 buffs, he does 50% more damage. It's complicated, it's tough, but you know what? This is what worked for me. Then I'm using Alton in here. He's really good because he can bring some crazy damage with this one. Then Laurenthiel, obviously, because if you don't have Gladys, then Laurenthiel is the best rally booster. And then we're going to be using Filto over here. Now, unfortunately, ideally, if you would have Huberg, I think Huberg would be 10 times better, because Huberg, when he does the ultimate, he can hit all of them. Unfortunately, I don't have Huberg. I keep missing Huberg. I keep missing Acelia. So because of that reason, I'm just using, what's his name? I'm just using Filto, right? Just using Filto. You kind of want to place Filto here, so when he does his ult, he hits both of them, because the way his ultimate hits is just a straight line. If you place him over here, he's only going to hit this one, not the one on the side. Now, let's run this team while I explain how this one goes. So there are some specific timings. There are some specific builds that, like, I kind of tested this team for a few hours to see what I can push it to the max. But there's a few key things that can boost your damage as much as possible. And one of those key things is going to be to have Alton actually have a little bit of resist, right? By having resist on Alton, he's not going to be losing those, He's not going to be losing those rallies whenever the bosses do the ultimate, because those ultimates remove one buff. And unfortunately, the quirky way how this one works is it says they remove one buff, but that one buff is actually 3 of them, even though they all 3 hit. If they hit over here, like just one of them, they still remove all 3 of the rallies. Now, another really important thing is the positioning. You kind of see the way that I have them. I have Gillian all the way in front. She's the one that soaks up all the single target damage, because she's going to be the tankiest. Then you're going to see in the same line, I'm going to have Felocia, and then Alton just straight up behind her. Now, you want to make sure that Alton and Felocia are close to each other, because you're going to see I have a specific talent that's going to make Felocia share some of her resist with Alton, so that you don't have to push that much natural resistance on Alton, so you can try and give him a little bit of damage. Then completely on the other side, we have Laurenthiel, and then we have Filto. You see that we're already at 200 million. We're still 2 minutes to go. Now, the quirky thing is, because of the way that Filto is placed, right, he does do damage to 2 of them when he casts his ultimate. But at the same time, because he's placed over there, he takes damage from 2 of them as well, right? When they do the flamethrower, they do it in a straight line as well. So both of them are going to be hitting Filto, whereas Laurenthiel only gets hit by 1. That's why you're going to see, I think in the last 45-30 seconds, unfortunately, my Filto ends up dying, right? It's just difficult. See, like, even happened now, because I didn't have the rallies, because he did the ultimate a little bit too early, he just pretty much died. It's still 212 million damage. You know what? Let me just do a quick run. Let me see. I still have resist on him. I do. Let me just try and do a combat simulation, but if you want to try and avoid RNG of having him die, just put Filto up, but you're going to be losing on some of the damage, like I mentioned, because he's only going to be hitting one of the Journs, not two, right? But you can see, there we go, 225 million damage. He still died. I think in the last 30 seconds, he dies because of the way that he has his stuff. Now, if you have Huberg, 100% use Huberg instead and just place him over here, right? Just place them like this, Huberg at the back, Lorenthil here, so that you only get hit once. The reason why, again, why Huberg is going to be so much better is because the way that Huberg hits, he's just straight up going to be hitting all of them, right? Because he has that diamond shape on his ultimate, he would be 10 times better. Really wish I had him. You know what? Let me have a look. Is there not a banner where I can choose Radiance to try and get Huberg? Because that would be nice. That would be really awesome. Huberg would be so much better. Let's see, what's the next banner starting? 29th of the 10th, that's tomorrow. Okay, Radiance and Ice. You know what? I'm going to pull tomorrow. I'm going to pull tomorrow because I just want to see. I barely have enough. Why not? You know, I don't think I'm going to be pulling on anything else this season. I would not mind pulling a Gladius if I get RNG. And then if not, I'm just going to pick, what's her name? Beldel's exclusive artifact at the end. And it is what it is. But let's jump back in that team just to show you exactly the skill timings, the builds, and everything else. Because some of these things are really important. So, starting with the skill timings, you're going to see that I pretty much left Alton, Lorenthil, and Filto to go full YOLO. The reason for that is because of the way that Lorenthil's ultimate works, he's just going to keep boosting the ultimate energy of your allies with his ultimate. If they consume rally while the domain is up, he's going to have this domain up most of the time. So you're going to be going like maybe every 15 seconds because per this, with the Puppeteer's Inspiration, you're going to be going a lot. But apart from that, the supports were really important. What I try to do with supports is I try to make sure that I have the buffs on at the right time. I have to have as many buffs as possible so we don't die. So because of that reason, I have Gillian going at 11.5, then at 18 seconds. And then I have Felocia at 27, and then every 18 seconds. Now, if you cannot get to 18.5 with Gillian for the complete recharge, then instead of 18.5, you just add another 18 to this one. That would be 29.5, right? So the full rotation is 18 plus 11.5. She'll just start her rotation a little bit later. What this one does is she does the cleansing straight after, or as soon as possible after the Journs do their battle skill to put attack penalty, and you want to cleanse that obviously so you do as much damage as possible. And then Felocia puts her buffs before the Journs do the battle skill, so we have most buffs so we can try and survive, but those buffs will stay for the ultimate as well. Now let's have a look at their builds and their talents. Let's start with Gillian. Another big brain thing that I'm trying to do is have enhanced protection. You might have seen in my video with the Ice Blast team, the most updated one, that this one can work really well because every second healing that she does, she can put a shield. If you pair that with this, right, with the Devout Prayer, you can try and have an extra layer of Devout Prayer in case your Felocia doesn't keep it up all the time. So that's pretty much her. Apart from that, just healing, and then also gave her this one, right? I also gave her this one because, again, once she heals them, if they do take some damage, if she heals them and gives them the hit recovery, that's a little bit of healing over time. That should be boosting the Solar King's Horn. So, you know, trying to min-max it as much as possible. Then, if you look at Alton, I kind of went like this, and that. Then Felocia went the top. Then I went with this, like I said, I want to share some of Felocia's resistance with Alton. So Alton doesn't have his buffs resisted, removed, and then at the top to get this one, and then this one to try and dispel debuffs, which you don't really need it because Gillian does it. So if you want to grab something else, just go ahead. Then for Filto, I kind of went with the top one, then this one, then bottom and bottom. This is the one that looked to me to give the most damage. And then Lorenthil pretty much almost the same. Now, when we're talking about the gear sets, you're going to see that I have Gillian in the Puppeteer's Inspiration because she's going to be boosting the ultimate energy of her and all the Radiance people as well, all the Rally people. So I kind of went with this. It kind of like helped me. Then Solar King's Horn, pretty much focused as much enlightenment as you possibly can because that's how her her heals scale off of, and like I mentioned, Devout Prayer to try and get a little bit of more damage boost. Then Alton's gonna be in the Witch's Remains paired with the Emissary's Whisper, and then also give him a Crude Glove in Strategy Prepared. Then I also gave him Resist, right? You're gonna see I have Resistance over here. I have some Resist substats in most of the other thing because you wanted to have at least around the 200 Resist, right? So that he can resist the buff removal from the Journs when it ultimate. but then try and boost whatever attack you can. It's not going to be ideal. He doesn't do that crazy damage. He's mostly an enabler in this team. Then if we look at, what's her name? Velocia. Velocia is again in a Puppeteer's Inspiration. The reason for that is she needs to get on an 18-second recharge time with her ultimate, which is on a 20. And I don't have enough skill haste. Plus, I don't think I can play enough with these because there's not too many things that can get her more ultimate energy. Maybe, ideally, if you could try and get this, right? If you can try and get this one to... If you can try to somehow get her to get the ultimate on an 18-second recharge time, then you would ideally build her in a, what's it called? Ancestral Protection, so you can try and keep Filto alive for most of the fight. Then Titan Reb on her, because she's going to be resisting those debuffs. Every time she resists them, more damage, right? That's what we're going to see. She has high resist, but then also high in light. Then if you look at Laurentiel, he's going to be full on attack with the Brotherhood Spirit, a Strike and Prepared attack percent glove. Then Dawn Organ Pipe, obviously give more attack to all of the ranged people, which is the full team, and just full on attack. You're going to see he has a ton, 8,500. I do have him Inspired 4. If I got another copy to get him Inspired 5, that would be nice, right? Because that would extend his buffs even more, so that would make him even better. And then the main damage here in this team, which again, I wish I had Uberg, is going to be Filto. Filto's going to be running the Flute of the King. This is the best one for him because it straight up boosts his ultimate whenever he consumes Rally. Whereas this one can proc, but he never can get more than 2 stacks, which is only 20% damage boost, right? So 100% go with the Flute of the King. Then attack percent, chestplate in the Strike and Prepared, crit damage glove in the opposing presence, Fearless Challenge with crit damage attack, and then Bloodshade Mark with again as much attack and crit damage. I only tried to get 70% crit rate, maybe even 60% crit rate on him because of the fact that he's going to be under Laurentiel's domain. Laurentiel, whenever he casts the ultimate, if he has at least 1 rally, which he should have most of the time, he puts 30% crit rate up. If he has 2, he puts 40%. So that's why you don't need more than 70% crit rate on him, which should be pretty easy to do considering this one gives you 40, right? 40 plus his base, easy to get that. That's why you're going to see again, crit damage with attack, this isn't just work, and then attack with crit damage and attack percent, no crit rate. But that's pretty much the team. Again, it might be a mistake, right? It might be a mistake to just keep pulling everything and not save some more of my summons, but you know what? I do think tomorrow I'm going to be doing more summons. Because again, I really want to try and get the Huberg, because the thing is like this, maybe Huberg is actually Huberg going to be better for the endgame boss or actually Filto. Maybe both. You know what? The cool thing is Huberg can also be really amazing because he can be the one that also wears the Witch's Remains instead of Alton, right? The reason for that is, let me show you, he has like a wide range and he does several attacks, right? On his ultimate, summons 3 energy orbs to strike in that area, so that's 3 AoE hits, but it increases the orb, casts this skill 1 more time, which means he's gonna be doing this twice, so that's 6 hits. That's gonna be a ton of damage, and then this one summons an additional orb. So, you know what? He would just be amazing. I might just summon, you know what? It is what it is. I might just summon tomorrow, hoping to get one of him. If I don't get him, I'm gonna be extremely sad, and I might just try and look at these packs to see is there no Huberg over here? No, it's just Filito. Okay, but anyway, we're gonna leave it at this for today. I think there's another thing actually in these packs where let me see, there was one with the crystal stuff, right? There's one of the packs where not the crystal, the tickets. There we go, ticket stuff. So do I have a Huberg here? I might just make, yeah, okay, I might just spend like, I think it's what's that? I will need to spend $8. I might just spend $8 and grab myself Huberg and maybe save my summons. But anyway, let's leave it at this for today. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider liking it, subscribing to the channel to see when I upload next, and I guess I'm gonna see you on the next one. Peace, love, take care, run. Bye guys.